you create a brand to make people smile, but you also create product to make them happy. How do you manage to succeed in that?
Well, yes.
What's the recipe? What's the secret recipe?
I don't think that there's a secret.
Welcome back to the Oris series. We are here in Zermatt just about to interview Rolf Studer, the CEO of Oris, who's going to share with us his passion about mountain, skiing and watches, of course. Hey guys, welcome back to the Oris series. If I look a bit red and stiff and cold alongside with Rolf, it's because we are currently on the Matterhorn, also known as the Toblerone Chocolate Mountain, at 3,883 meters. So I am here with Rolf Studer, who is the CEO of Oris, and we're here to speak about watches, obviously, but first about the passion for skiing and mountain and how you're in your natural and vital element, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Here we are really high up. You feel the elements. It just makes you feel alive. There's nothing else that you can think of apart from just getting on, doing what you do here. So yeah, it's really nice to be up here.
Because skiing, I mean, ever since I started in the watch industry and so have you, it's been kind of a tradition where every year you come to Zermatt with your team, with the journalist, sometimes with client, to show the next collection because you want to share these values on a personal standpoint and on a company standpoint, right? Why? What made you love skiing in the mountains so much in the first place?
Well, that's how I grew up. I grew up in central Switzerland. I grew up skiing from a very little age, so it's just something I love to do, something that reconnects me with nature, something that frees my mind, and I love to share that with people. And there's no better time, I feel, than to be on skis together and to share a few hours doing that.
Because if we go back a little, you're not very old, and yet you've been in the company for 17 years. How's that going?
Well, it's going very well so far. I've never had a boring day in these 17 years. I work for Oris, which is an independent company, so it's a permanent fight against the big players out there, but that's what keeps us thriving.
Yeah, and yet you manage, staying independent, you manage, and that's your strength in my opinion, that you manage to create a brand where people love you as a person and people love your brand. Because if I'm not mistaken, you create a brand to make people smile, but you also create product to make them happy. How do you manage to succeed in that?
Well, yes.
What's the recipe? What's the secret recipe?
I don't think that there's a secret. Making people smile, that is our company purpose, because when you think about it, these days you really don't need a mechanical watch. So what is the purpose of a mechanical watch? It is to cheer you up, to make you happy, to make you smile. And that is what we want to do. And often in our industry, it's about exclusiveness. And when you think about it, exclusivity is not such a good word. It's locking people out, right? And
you're not part of our family.
You're not part, you don't belong here, you're not good enough, you're not cool enough. And we don't believe in that concept at Oris. We believe in inclusive luxury. We believe in having a good time with people, in sharing the joy about an object, sharing the joy about mechanical watches. With this in mind, we make our watches at Oris.
And speaking about inclusive luxury and how you reunite people and you make them happy, you decided to choose a teddy bear as the emblem and icon of the brand, and people love it. How did you come up with that first idea?
Well, it's the Oris bear. Okay. And there's a lot of ambassadors in our industry, so people who are paid to play a role then are paid to like a brand, and I am never quite sure if that really makes sense, right? And at the end, these ambassadors, they are canvases for our emotions, the emotions you want to transport as a brand. And what better canvas for an emotion is there than a teddy bear?
It's true.
Each and every one of us had one as a child, and you just can't be angry with a teddy bear, and if you are, you maybe need help. So people, they like the Oris bear because they feel that this is pure emotion and pure joy, and that is what we want.
And a bear is also a sustainable asset in the long run because it will gather generation from one to another. And also, speaking about sustainability, big shout out and congratulations, because you have become climate neutral. And you're probably one of the only company in the watch industry that managed to get a 0% emission. Am I correct?
Yes, we are not only climate neutral, we also pledged to reduce 10% of our emissions over 3 years. We are now in our second year. The first year we reduced a bit more than 10%. We are about to get the final numbers. And yes, as a growing organization, that's a challenge. But we feel.
Yeah, how do you manage to do that? I mean, becoming climate neutral, considering everything and that you need in order to create a watch, including all the components and all the suppliers and traveling the world. How's that? I mean, discrepancy to some extent to get that title.
Well, there's a lot of talk about sustainability these days in our industry, but you really need to look at the facts, and you need to have the numbers to understand where your emissions come from. And we know that the emissions, even though that we are a volume producer, our emissions do not come from the product. Our emissions come from logistics, from sending watches from Switzerland around the world, from us traveling, from our employees commuting. That is basically where the big part of our emissions come from, and that's where we want to reduce.
And what was your solution for that?
Well, we analyzed where our biggest emissions come from, and then in our biggest markets we developed plans to reduce within this biggest emission factors, and that's how we do it. Our watches, they only contribute to the equivalent of a business class flight from Zurich to Los Angeles and back. So thinking about all the traveling that we do, all the activities we have around the world, this is a very small amount. So you see that it's really not the watch, but the traveling or shipping watches where you have leverage to reduce your carbon footprint.
So Oris in the next couple of years, I mean, product-wise, you just launched the new version of the Big Crown with the blue dial. You're currently in the process of a patent for that watch. What was the whole process behind this?
Well, what we will be doing the next 2 years, we will continue to innovate. We will continue to be independent, fiercely independent. We will continue to bring out pieces like Big Crown Calibre 473, hand winding with power reserve on the back, pointer date, small second, as it was the original complication of Oris in the 1930s. So we will just continue to make people smile, hopefully with our product, with our watches, and just to have them a good time.
And can you say that today the Big Crown is kind of one of the emblematic piece of the collection?
Yeah, certainly Big Crown is the very historic family in our collection. It has become important now also with our in-house Calibre 400, the 5-day anti-magnetic 10 years warranty and service interval movements that we have launched 2 years ago. But it's also Oris that's important for us, our divers watches. Diver 65, our vintage divers watches. These are our main families, and that's where we will hopefully put a smile on your face with new product that we will bring.
I mean, always, and speaking of a new product, we're on top of a mountain. Watches and Wonders, by the time we're shooting this video, is just a couple of weeks off, and you're launching an altimeter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that watch and what's the functionality of wearing an altimeter on your wrist?
We are the only watch company to have a mechanical altimeter in an automatic mechanical watch. We launched that in 2014, and now this year for Watches and Wonders we will bring an upgrade to that model that already exists. We will increase the range from 4,500 to 6,000 meters. The watch will be a little slimmer, and The case will be out of 3D printed carbon fiber, which we are also the first brand in the watch industry to use that technology. That technology allows you to fully take advantage of the possibilities of carbon fiber, because you can lay and steer the layout of the carbon fiber the way you want it, and have strength where you need it, and be light where you can do that. We also won't need a container, so we will be able to screw the case back
Directly.
In that case directly, to have the glass on the case directly. So it's really
Big innovation.
Big innovation. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on this, because it's pretty amazing and pretty fascinating. Thank you so much for responding to all of my questions at -12, if I'm not mistaken. We're close to be frozen, so now we're going to get back skiing. And I'm hoping that you're going to show me a couple of skills, and maybe we'll be challenging one another in maybe a little race.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that, Eleanor.
Perfect. Me too. Thank you so much, Rolf.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we've taken most of the day. Sun is coming down and we've gone through a couple of tracks. So now, not that it was a competition, because everything is about emotion, but who do you think was the fastest between you and I?
I think it's really hard to say. I think we did both really good, and I think we had a lot of fun, so that's what really matters.
I think the images will show who was actually not better, but with more techniques and stuff. But anyways, people will judge by themselves. So now I just want to not only thank you for this amazing day and being really like nurtured with nature and being able to double task, which is something that most men don't know how to do, which means skiing and thinking about work and upcoming projects. So what are your next couple of weeks going to be like?
Well, it's the beginning of the year, so it's a new start. Now what's up next is Watches and Wonders, so we are in full preparation of that fair. We have a lot of novelties that we're going to show at Watches and Wonders. I'm really excited to go there again, to be in Geneva, to see you again, to see the whole community again. So I'm really looking forward to the end of March in Geneva.
Amazing. Well, and because ski is one of your passion, but sailing is another part of your life, because you kind of were born and raised on a boat. Maybe we'll do in the second episode up on the shore and in the water. But just to conclude, I've heard that there was a really like Swiss tradition, especially after a great day with friends, that involves something called snuff. Can you tell me a little more about that and how that works?
Yeah, it's something that we do here in Switzerland. It's ground tobacco that you snuff, and it's a skiing tradition. And yeah, if you want to do it with me,
can you show me how to do
I
it?
would be happy to share one with you.
Amazing.
All right, let's do that.
This doesn't look sketchy at all. I feel like I'm going into like a steam bath with eucalyptus essential oil.
Well, people say it's mountain air up your nose, right? And you never do it alone. You always do it with friends. So I'm happy to do it with you, Eleanor.
So you're considering with me. Thank you.
Please.
And what's the saying? So I will be saying it in French, right?
We say prise.
Prise.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Prise.
That's amazing.
That's it. So
That's
we've
it.
had a full day of
Full
Swiss
day.
skiing with a snuff at the end.
And
That's
rusty in the middle.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, and thank you guys, and see you to the next episode.